Okay, welcome back, everyone. If you could please grab your seats. We're going to get started with our next few sessions. Okay, thank you very much. As you filter in, I'm joined again by Shireen Patak, our brands editor, and we are going to quickly review what we found on the challenge boards.
Yeah.
Shireen, what are some things that we got over there on the retailer side?
So my favorite one is this one. Whoever wrote this is just great. Fucking emails, 700 a day.
Okay. That's a quote. That's a quote. It's okay in a quote. That's our style guide.
No, but sort of that whole internal process thing that we talked about during the town hall a little bit, that one's a big one because you have the emails, got the silos across marketing channels. There's a lot of stuff about like people just don't understand what I do in this organization, so how do I get them to understand what that means?
So like buy-in, that kind of stuff?
A lot of buy-in, yes, a lot of that stuff, a lot of silos. So that's a really big one. I think that's a really interesting one because we talked about it a little bit. And the other big one is this whole sort of cross-device attribution, which is the sort of the most popular one because that's got the most.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you've got cross-device attribution, cross-device tracking, sort of how you track where users are going, how do you track where they're coming from, how do you track conversions. So a lot of stuff that's sort of to do with data and technology. That one's sort of the really big one on the retailer side. And there's a little bit of customer education that I thought was a little bit interesting. Customers don't get what we do. How do you get customers to trust us? How do you get customers to believe us when we're telling them something? How do you turn customers into advocates for your brand? And how do you get them to sort of have this perception change of who we are? And I think that's probably from somebody who's sort of dealing with a little bit of a rebranding or sort of trying to change who they really are, what kind of retailer they are.
Okay.
So that was the thing on the retailer side.
You did a good job. I did not do as good a job, but I was going through the tech companies one. I don't have these header ones. That was a smart move. But one thing that does sort of overlap, which is this idea of cross-device. There's a lot of talk about cross-channel attribution, who and how is cross-device performing for, cross-device utilization. A lot about that in here, which was pretty interesting. There's also a whole thing around attribution here, which I guess could be somewhat related. A lot of people are talking about attribution, but probably the biggest area, maybe comes as no surprise, is around the idea of differentiation, or as this one puts it, the ad tech whack-a-mole. Another one has differentiation in a sea of lookalikes. So obviously there's some sort of marketing challenges, I guess, which is sort of ironic. The tech companies have the marketing challenges, and the retailers have the tech challenges. Go figure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we're going to leave these out, right? And
we're going to leave these out, and they'll be a constant presence over the next few days.
Cool.
Thank you, Shireen. OK, and next up we have a Digiday dialogue. It is with Cardlytics, and I want to welcome to the stage Casey Byrne. Casey is the CMO of Cardlytics, and he is going to be interviewed by our very own Paul Borselli. Paul is with our content studio, and they're going to talk about how retailers are cashing in on consumer purchase data. Casey and Paul?